What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another video. And in this video we are going to be talking about potential scenarios for Detroit Lions to trade down with. Last time we did a scenario video that I reacted to, you guys destroyed it. Now this is definitely different. It's kind of our own scenarios, but I think, if you guys want to see another scenario video like that, maybe you guys can send me some scenarios that you make up or something, and we can react to them. That'd be pretty cool. I might put something like that on Instagram. So make sure you go follow me over there, right here. Actually, I don't know if the green screen's on, so maybe not right there. DoseOfDion 2.0, no space, no caps. Anyways, what we're going to be doing is looking at the draft value chart, talking about a report that Ian Rappaport put out this morning. So let's get it started. Ian Rappaport put out a report that said the Detroit Lions are already looking at their options to trading down from the third pick in the draft with other teams. So they're already exploring those options and talking to other teams, which is kind of something I would expect, but it's kind of cool to hear it today. So now we already kind of know the Lions are definitely interested in trading back. Now, I do believe they will sit there until the third pick is on the clock. I mean, they may already have some trade ideas lined up before then. Obviously, they definitely should. But I think it'll be like, hey, if the Redskins, if you don't take Chase Young, we may just take him. I would take him there. I would not, I wouldn't trade back unless it's insane. But I would take Chase Young if he's there. But there's a good chance he's not. So they probably look to trade back. It makes sense, especially if you're going after Okudah, Derrick Brown, those guys. If you're going after Simmons, I can see why you stay at 3. But otherwise, really doesn't make a lot of sense because they're going to be able to fall, right? I mean, really, to 6th pick in the draft, there's a chance that a lot of those guys could fall. So that's what the Lions are looking to do. We have the trade value chart pulled up here. This is something that Jimmy Johnson, I guess, made when he was the head coach for the Cowboys, and it's kind of like a guideline. It's not a rules. It's something that media and stuff can use just to kind of keep things like fair. But at the same time, these are not very 100% consistent, and they shouldn't be because the draft isn't consistent, right? A whole bunch of crazy things happen, and there's a couple factors that go into it. I have 3 factors wrote down right now. The first one is the first pick in the draft. This doesn't affect us, but it's a huge factor depending on what quarterbacks are available. Usually a quarterback is who's talked about going first. So if there's a whole bunch of great quarterbacks that could be potentially traded around, and teams maybe jumping up to go get a quarterback, like this year with Joe Burrow, that has the potential to actually be traded and get its big value that's worth. Because the first pick in the draft is a huge value. It just depends. Is there a really good quarterback out there? Because if there's not, the first pick in the draft kind of loses its value because you already know who's going. So you're kind of playing around it. Anyways, next one, and this is future picks. There is no draft value chart for future picks. Some teams view future picks differently. Obviously, for our sake, right? Our future picks wouldn't be very helpful for Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn if this is their last year anyways, unless they use those future picks to trade back up. But then again, you don't know what that other team that you're trading back up with values those as. So I've heard that, people look at the future picks as the last pick of that round just to be safe, right? So if it's a future first, it's the 32nd pick in the draft. Obviously, it doesn't mean it's going to turn out like that, but that's what you look at it as. That way, you're at least being safe with it. You're being on the cautious side. So future picks aren't really anything that's, here. And obviously, in a lot of trades that you see, especially big trades at the front, future picks are involved. Players, that changes it too. If you throw in a player, that's a huge difference than just throwing in picks. And who needs it most, right? If a team like the Dolphins, who absolutely need a quarterback, they may be willing to give up more than, say, the Chargers to go get a quarterback because they need one. Like, the Chargers are okay if they don't get one or the specific one that they really want. But again, if there's someone that you really want or there's someone that you really need, then obviously giving up more just makes a lot of sense. So here's the draft trade chart. I actually have the draft simulator pulled up as well. We're going to do a couple of scenarios, not tons, just a few. Just kind of play around with these numbers, see how they line up for us. Obviously, it's a draft machine, and it's this. So neither of these are super accurate, so it's just going to be kind of weird. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyways, let's just get it started. So you can see the Lions, their third pick value is graded at 2,200. So that's pretty good, right? 2,200. You see that the first pick in draft is 3,000. So it's a huge drop off. But 2,200 is good because there's actually a big drop off between 3 and 4. And after that, it's all by 100. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice to have the top 3 pick in the draft. Anyways, we know a couple of thoughts and ideas, so we're going to try this out first. So we'll start with the Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins, their 5th pick is worth 1,700, obviously 500 points less. Now, the thought is, okay, well, we trade back with the Dolphins, and we could get 18 and 26. Well, according to the draft trade chart, that's insane. I think that is a lot, too. Now, I think the more reasonable one is getting 26. Now, that would be 200 points overvalued for the Dolphins. Now, if they want to just give us their second, that could be more realistic because by the trade chart value, that'd be about exact their first and a second round pick. But we're going to see which one can work here. Now, I know 1 in 26 doesn't always work, but will 1 in a first work? Probably. 1 in a second work? Probably. So we're going to mess with that a little bit. So maybe this machine follows that trade chart. I don't know. But let's try it. So 5 and 26, this would be more value given to the Lions here. and you can see that they denied this offer. Now, I'm not actually going to do the second one because I'm 100% sure they're going to accept that, so there's really no point to do it. According to Draft Trade Chart, getting any first-round pick doesn't make sense. However, we know sitting at the third spot, a team like the Dolphins, who are going to need the quarterback, a potential bidding war right between the Chargers, the Dolphins, those teams that need a quarterback, maybe even other teams joining in, especially with, Tua's injuries. I mean, there has been a lot of reports coming out of Tua that's like concerning with all of his injuries. Like, who was it? Someone was talking about him. I think it was Lombardi. He was talking about how Tua doesn't just have the hurt hip. He has a hurt ankle. He has a hurt wrist, who is rebroken again, and it's pretty bad. He said he's brittle. And obviously he's a very talented player, but those injuries they're scary. So a guy like Herbert could potentially be a guy that now falls into the mix, and Tua could fall a little bit. So there's just a lot of wild stuff going on, and potentially double trade back situation if Tua really fell and we traded back already. I don't know. It's crazy stuff, y'all. All right, next up, let's look at what else we got here. So the Chargers, that has been a team that we've talked about. Theirs were 1,600, so 600 points less. We know that they had the 37th pick, which, as you can see here, will be 530, so it's still 70 points less. So their first and second, they would have to throw in something else, and as you can see, their fourth round pick is worth 70. So to make it exact, they would have to throw in a first, their second, and a fourth round pick. I don't know why I said seventh. First, second, and a fourth to make it happen. So let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can get that. According to the draft trade chart, this would be perfect. This would be the exact trade to look for here. But obviously, as we know, let's see what they say. See, I think the reason this doesn't happen, it may happen in real life, but they don't have tons of picks outside of this. So this could be where your future picks come into play. So yeah, so it's kind of weird sometimes. Now let's try another team. So the Jaguars, right? Jaguars 1350 at number 9. They also have number 20, 850. All right, so that's actually going to be, I think that's, what is that? Is that the exact amount? 13, that would be 21. Yeah, I think that's the exact amount. That's 2,200. So that equals Detroit Lions. So 9 and 20, according to this, should be the perfect value. And if a team like the Jaguars wanted to go to 3, possibly to go get a guy like Isaiah Simmons or Okudah, obviously you have to want to trade up. Okay, just because the value is there doesn't mean it always makes sense. But this could happen, and boom, they actually accepted this one. So the Jaguars deal was actually done. So they did trade up. Now I'm concerned who they pick. They took Jeffrey Okudah, so boom, there you go. They trade up to get Jeffrey Okudah. So I'm actually going to exit out of this mock draft. So that the two ones that have been perfect, well, one that has been perfect worked, the other one didn't work, and I think it's because they didn't have enough picks this year. So that's the first trade to work, I believe, right? Now, let's look at the Raiders. So the Raiders, 1,200, right? So that's 1,000 less, and they also have 19, 875. So it's still 125 short. Let's see if they have any picks that could, make that up. 125 doesn't, they got 136. So I guess 90. So if we took pick 91 and we took 12 and 19, maybe we can make it work. Let's try it. So let's look at the Raiders here. Again, some of these teams may not want to trade up. Some of these teams may be good where they are. It just really depends. I don't know. But I think, there's a lot of scenarios out there. So this would be, according to the trade chart, a little bit more valued for the Lions here, but not by a lot. And they accepted it. So it did work. So boom, look at that. Maybe the draft trade chart does work. So as you can see, it worked out that time, and the Raiders trade up to get Jeffrey Okudah. So yeah, it happens. Sometimes you get top cornerbacks to go like that. So as you can see from the trade chart, stuff like that. And look at this one, like the Niners. If they gave us 31 and 13, as you can see, according to the trade chart, it wouldn't be worth it for the Lions. They would have to throw something else in. So the Lions do have a lot of value. If you do follow this, you can see Justin Herbert is still available. So again, double trade back. I almost think that could be Tua now. So double trade back possibly, something like that. It's kind of fun. I think this is something that we could use a lot more when we do our mock drafts. If you guys want me to use these to try to find offers, but I just wanted to kind of do this just for fun and let you guys really know. The main story is that the Lions are looking to trade down, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, let me know your thoughts, comments below. Let me know any video ideas, anything you guys want to see, because I want to make sure I get videos out to you guys that you guys want. So let me know any kind of suggestions that you have, and also if you guys want to see me do some more reactions to articles, make sure you go send me some trade scenarios that you came up with or articles came up with, whatever it may be. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.